I'm Jenny Williams with Extra Living at eXp Realty, and today you have a special treat because I'm sitting here with someone who knows everything about our community. You're watching Life Along 280 in Chelsea. So happy you joined us here today because you are in for a treat. I am sitting here with Leah with 280 Living, and let me just tell you, she is in the know about all things 280 Living.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. So I want to know everything that you do. All right, do you write the stories? Do you find the stories? Do you edit the stories?
Yes, all of the above. I do all the things. I have to come up with stories every month. I have to lay out how the paper's going to look every month. I have to set up all the interviews, write all the stories. I do have somebody else that edits my stuff, but I edit somebody else's stuff. So I'm still editing.
That's smart, though.
We edit each other's stuff, yeah. And so we have 7 different papers that cover all around the greater Birmingham area, and my responsibility is 280. So, and the bulk of that is Chelsea. So anywhere from the Summit all the way down to Chelsea is, I need to know what's going on.
Well, for over 10 years, I did real estate marketing for all the real estate agents and coached them in their business, especially when it came to marketing. So I've done a ton of work with 280 Living for not only myself, but for the other agents in the community because it's a staple. Mm-hmm. And what I think is genius about what you do is the spelling bees. All the kids with their soccer shots, and because every mama in town is going to pick it up.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be looking for their kids. So I feel like that is the smartest move ever on your part. Because when you look at the advertising and know that every mama's picked it up looking for their kids, you're getting into your target market. So I think it's genius.
Yeah, we love, our thing is we're hyper local. So we really focus in on the stuff that, especially that nobody else is going to cover, small things, bigger things, but even, the kids got a scholarship or your basketball team, when they're championship. So we love to stay hyper local to the schools and to the community.
Well, I think it's important. Now it's super thick. So you have a lot of content.
We do have a lot of content.
A lot of ads. Mm-hmm. So about how many stories are you writing each
month? I would say usually around 20 to 25, probably. We have to plan way ahead.
Right.
So I'm planning for April right now.
Okay.
So it's hard to think that far ahead, but you have to. You have to do that when you're a monthly paper.
Well, you do, because I've been getting phone calls for the real estate section in March. Okay. And so now you've probably moved on. Yeah.
Well, I'm still working on March,
okay.
But yes,
okay.
February's going to press this week, and then I'll hone in on March. So
yesterday we pulled it out, the 280 Living, out of the mailbox, and my husband sat down and just read and read and read, and I was laughing at him like, this is like, and normally he really doesn't look through it.
Right.
But all I kept thinking, I was doing the dishes and watching him read. Aww. And he was so engaged.
I love it.
Yeah, I knew you'd probably like to hear that because you don't want to think about all your hard work like going in somebody's trash immediately.
You're exactly right. And then when people tell me, "Oh, I read your story and I loved it," I'm like, "Oh, thank you. That's so great." But we get a lot of compliments, and we try to focus on the positive and the good, and there's enough bad news. You don't want to pick up our paper and read any more bad news. So we try to focus on who's doing good, who's giving back, who's had an accomplishment, stuff like that. So we love to find those kind of stories.
I do too. I love it myself. So I've always seen your name. Always, all these years, right? Like everybody probably knows your name from reading it.
Right.
And so it's so great to see your face.
There's a real person behind it. Yeah.
It's for real.
And it's my real name. People ask me if that's my real name. It's my real legit married name. Yes, it is.
I love it.
And we're Auburn fans, so that helps.
Oh yeah.
So it would be awkward if we weren't.
Yeah.
So
that's funny. But you can use that for all kinds of schools around here.
That's true. That's true. Yes.
We were Oak Mountain, so.
Oh, yeah, that would be funny. I've always thought about that. If my kids went to Oak Mountain and we lived in Eagle Point,
right?
Like just the whole, like the trifecta. But we love it here in Chelsea Park. We've only been here a short time and love it. But we lived in Chelsea for 15 years, so we are long roots in the community.
That's so
glad to
good.
live here, glad to get to cover everything going on and let everybody else know what's going on too.
So, what are your favorite stories that you get to do every month?
I love feature stories. I love to focus on a person or a group and what they're doing. And I've tried to do a lot lately about people giving back. I've done some on Vineyard Family Services. We've done some on the Alabama Childhood Food Solutions, and just a plethora of others. And it's just a lot of stuff that even not just in this bubble of 280, but countywide, that people, just because you don't live in the bubble of 280 doesn't mean you're in Shelby County. I mean, so you can, it's stuff that you can get involved in, volunteer opportunities, different ways to help. So I just really like bringing it to light, a lot of stuff people that may not even know about this organization or this thing they could get involved in, but once they read it, they're like, oh, that's great. So
we have so many amazing people that live in Shelby County.
I know.
And so that has to be fun, just finding the good and looking for the good.
Yes.
Because you're right, the bad will find us.
Right. Yeah.
We had to turn the TV off like 2 weeks ago. And
I know.
There was just a little bit on yesterday. My daughter was like, ow! She was just immediately got enraged and we turned it back off.
Right. Yeah, we don't watch a lot of TV. My husband actually works for a news station, and if I don't watch, I don't really watch the news, but I make him read my stuff. So
there you go. So you have to be supportive. So.
Yes. So yeah. So we're both covering everything in and around Birmingham. So it's fun.
Well, how long have you worked for 280 Living?
I freelanced since 2015, and then I went full time. This will be in 2019. So this will be my second year coming up working full time. I've always been part time, stay at home mom, kind of freelance work, but I'm full time and working from home right now still. So
that's great.
It's great that we can put a paper out every month with all of us working at home.
Right.
So that's been a blessing.
Well, and it's as big as it has grown too. So how are you, where do you get your inspiration from? Where do you get tips? Do you get, I know that I used to send in a ton of press releases for any time one of my clients did something great.
Yeah, absolutely. We do get briefs sent in, but a lot of times I'm just digging around, looking on social media, seeing what's going on, checking with people I know that are on councils or committees or chamber, and just kind of putting feelers out there to see what's out there. But the bulk of it I just kind of just pull out from people and places, people I know and places I've gone, and new, especially like new restaurants, new businesses, stuff like that. People love to be in the know about that kind of stuff where they can.
Well, and they need our support right now.
Absolutely.
We need to make sure we're doing everything we can for our 280 businesses. How do you differentiate with the digital? With digital and the paper, because it comes out every single day.
Yes, we have a newsletter you can subscribe to. So our web editor, Kathleen, she puts those together for all the papers, and they're out every day. So we just highlight 2 or 3 stories in the newsletter every day. But when you get the paper, you've got them all. But online is such a big thing.
Right, it is.
And so a lot of people would rather be scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through Instagram and see it and click and read it. So we have a lot of that traffic as well as the physical paper. But some people like your husband like to sit down with the physical paper and hold it and read it. I do too.
Well, and there's something though too about seeing faces, like when you see our neighbors in it, and I've met them before, and that's fun. So opening it up and seeing that in the actual paper is fun. I don't know if you have been watching for a while that we have a group on Facebook called Life Along 280 in Chelsea. And a lot of our content actually will come from what she writes.
Well, good. Thank you. Share away.
Yeah, so every time I get it in the morning, you can subscribe to their newsletter, and you'll get an email every day. And it'll just tell you about things that are going on. It's definitely not as in-depth as the paper itself, because you get so much more out of the paper.
Yes, but if you just want a little bit at the time,
right?
If you just want your news in little nuggets, then the newsletter's good. Yes. So yeah.
Well, good. So, have you had a favorite story that you've done, like of all time?
Oh gosh, I don't know if anybody's ever asked me that. Of all time, I don't know. There's been a lot. I think covering I loved writing about when the county manager, Alex Duchok, retired and Chad Scroggins took over for him. I loved talking to both of them and kind of getting his 30 years of experience kind of all wrapped up, and Chad bringing in, you know, his experience and kind of handing the baton over. They're both so great. So that's one of my favorites. And I did just write one about Butch Ellis, the county attorney, who's 80, still practicing, has been the county attorney for over, you know, like 40 or something years, and is just still rocking and rolling. He was really fun. So those are a couple of recent ones that have been my favorites.
Oh, good.
So,
well, what are you looking forward to? Anything with 280 Living?
Oh gosh, just finding more stories. We had to list out our goals for the year in one of our meetings a few weeks ago, and I just want to continue to find interesting stories, interesting people. You know, it's not like somebody's coming up every day saying, I got the best story, like, you know, like I just want to, you know, meet more people, continue meeting people, and hopefully going to events maybe later this year when
events would be nice.
When there are events to go to. I would love that. And just making it something fun for people to read, like you said. I just want to highlight good stuff and good news.
Well, how can people reach out? Like, if you've got a story, you know, you need to get it over to her.
Absolutely.
So
I love some story tips.
Yeah.
The best way is probably email. Okay. So that is leagle@starnespublishing.com. I check my email very often. So, and we have to plan far ahead. So if something's happening, you know, in the future, go ahead and tell me now so we can plan ahead for it. But yeah, I love story tips. Any connecting with people and just, you know, hearing what they have to say is great. So I would love that.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Y'all, I told you had a treat. I mean, she knows all things and all people along 280. So thanks for taking the time to visit with us today.
Thanks for letting me join you. It's been great.
I wanted everybody to know and meet you. So
well, hello to everyone. If I haven't met you, I hope I get to.
Well, thanks again. And y'all go by and pick up 280 Living. And don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter as well. And make sure when you're on Facebook, find our little group, Life Along 280 in Chelsea, and give it a like. So how's the market? That's what everybody wants to know, right? Well, I can tell you that it's insane. We normally start the second week of February where houses start coming up on the market. It really has not slowed down at all. So if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, the second week of February is normally where all these buyer frenzy people are waiting and waiting and waiting, hoping your house will come on the market because people have to move. We are getting seriously 10 to 20 offers on some houses, especially if it's below 300,000. So give me a call and let me give you the tips that you need to know before putting the house on the market. There are still houses, ironically, that are not selling. So you can't just throw a price on it and hope you're going to get it even when people are making 20 offers. There definitely is a science behind it and a lot of expertise that goes into putting the right price on it. And sometimes it could be putting a low price on it so you actually could get $20,000 or $30,000 more. So I can give you those tips and tricks. Right now I've got some great properties that are working now, getting ready to make their debut, and I can't wait to tell you about those when they come up. But most importantly, you are either going to pay now up front for it, or you're going to pay for needed repairs whenever the offer comes in. But either way, you will end up paying. If you haven't maintained or painted and kept things fresh over the years, that's totally fine. That's normal, right? So that means you've got a lot of catching up to do. It's going to either reflect in your price or you're going to have to get those things done. I've just brought my husband into the business, and he is a home builder, has been a home builder since he was 21, and he is 51 next month. He is now helping me get listings ready. So super easy now. You don't have to worry about tons of quotes or these long punch lists. My stager will come in and tell you what needs to be done, and then he will go and get it all done for you. Makes it so much easier, because the biggest fear of putting a house on the market is getting all of that little nitpicky stuff done that you've probably ignored forever. Like, I have one closing Friday. It was missing 3 plates, cover plate, lights on the plug-ins, and you know that nobody cared when they lived there, but a buyer cares about that. So, and then he had to switch out a toilet handle and fix a screen door, little things that didn't matter to you when you were there, but you're gonna have looking really nicely for the buyers when they come in. It's all about what you're willing to do on the front end to make sure that you get the most money on the back end. But no worries, I'll walk you through it. Give me a call at 205-223-1044, and let's make it happen for you this year.